Chair recognizes Majority Floor Leader Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House continue on the order of motions and resolutions and read in the message on House Resolution 356.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
The Speaker, on behalf of the entire membership of the House of Representatives, offers House Resolution 356, a resolution of tribute offered as memorial for Alma G. Stallworth, former member of the House of Representatives. Whereas it was with great sadness that the members of this legislative body learned of the passing of Alma G. Stallworth. She served her constituents in Detroit and Wayne County and the people of our entire state with distinction in a career that covered 4 decades in the House of Representatives. She leaves behind a remarkable record of service, which is a model for everyone who follows her into public life. And whereas a native of Little Rock, Arkansas, Alma G. Stallworth ultimately made the Detroit area her home and found numerous ways to serve her community over the years. She attended Highland Park Junior College and Merrill Palmer Institute and Wayne State University, and was active in religious and social organizations. She also worked as a daycare director before she was first elected to the House in 1970. Whereas Alma G. Stallworth served 10 terms in the House of Representatives during 3 separate stints over the span of 34 years, shaping a generation of leaders and leaving her fingerprints on many important policy debates. During her career, Representative Stallworth was a leading figure in public utilities and communications policy, serving as chair, co-chair, and minority vice chair of the House Public Utilities Committee in the 1980s and 1990s. She did important work on foster care and child abuse and championed legislation to protect seniors and consumers during her time in Lansing. Whereas Alma G. Stallworth was a driving force for equality and representation during her career. She chaired the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus and was a member of the Black Caucus Foundation, which, among other things, helped improve opportunities for Black staffers in the legislature and across state government. She was also an advocate for women in government and numerous other important causes over the course of her life. And whereas, after completing her final term, Alma G. Stallworth accepted an appointment on the Detroit Board of Education, continuing her service to her community. She also modeled public service at home throughout her life, as well as on the House floor. Her 2 sons, Keith and Thomas, also served in this legislative body, and their interest in public service is a testament to her example. And whereas Alma G. Stallworth was a dedicated public servant who deeply cared about her constituents, enhancing opportunities for everyone, and making thoughtful public policy. Upon her passing, we offer our condolences to her family and friends. We hope that they may find comfort in the knowledge that the community as a whole shares in their bereavement, and that the legacy of Alma G. Stallworth's contributions will long continue to enrich our state. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that we offer this expression of our highest tribute to honor the memory of Alma G. Stallworth, a member of this legislative body from 1971 to 1974, 1983 to 1996, and 2003 to 2004. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Stallworth family as evidence of our lasting esteem for her memory.
Will all those in favor of the memorial resolution please rise? The resolution is adopted. Wishing to speak to the memory of Representative Stallworth, the chair recognizes Representative Love.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, sometimes it's difficult to talk about someone that you know personally and just read off the notes of all of their accomplishments. Because Alma G. Stallworth, I knew her personally. She was my rep. And if you're from the city of Detroit, she was the rep. And her contributions and her love extended beyond this sacred space into the community, into neighborhoods, into people's homes. And most importantly, she always reached back to us young girls and to be a mentor, to provide advice, to be that sage and that voice of experience and wisdom. And I so truly appreciate her contributions, and especially what she did with the Black Caucus Foundation, to make sure that young Black boys and girls in the city of Detroit had all the opportunities that they could possibly have to succeed. She loved that work and the mission of that organization. And her 2 bright sons who followed in her footsteps and served in the House of Representatives also lived up to her legacy and has kept the Black Caucus Foundation alive. Mrs. Stallworth, or the Rep, wrote a book in 2014 called The Stallworth Legacy. It talks about a time in this place when the Reps had portables that they worked in and not the beautiful House office building. She talked about her struggles running for office and not winning, some of the things we had in common. And I think that's why we built a special bond. I remember her breakfasts. She'll call us over to the Skyline Club in Southfield and give what I call a lesson, the Rep's lesson of the morning. She's just a beautiful person who left a beautiful legacy. I hope if you don't know her that you'll pick up her book, The Stallworth Legacy. It's a beautiful story of a time before now, where things were very much different. And as a Black woman from Detroit, her ability to soar to high levels and to serve on the Powerful Energy Committee, I think it was called the Public Utilities Committee, for 14 years and chair that, and do tremendous work in the community to make sure that minors had access to health care. It's really outstanding, and I feel honored, and we feel honored. I'm sure everyone in the Detroit caucus have met Mother Stallworth, to have known her. And we all sit in her shadow, because she was a giant. But we also get to glean from her sunlight, because that still shines bright today.
The chair recognizes Representative Gay Agnogo.
Thank you. As Rep. Love pointed out, it's very challenging to sum up what I call our matriarch, our my leg matriarch, Mother Alma G. Stallworth. I wrote a couple of notes, but I just want to highlight that early in my tenure, actually October 2015 to be exact, I had a Strong Women Lead breakfast. I had this breakfast after having some conversations with her. You see, it was talked about the little girl that came to the Capitol earlier that was excited to see Rep. Love. Alma G. Stallworth was the person who excited us. And that's why I thought it was important that all of us be represented. I bounced some ideas off of her, first of all, about my run and why I wanted to run and getting that lesson, getting the instructions. And then I talked about some of the issues that African American women face. And one of those things is the inability or the challenging time of raising money. And she was the one who actually encouraged me to start my own PAC. And so when you hear me constantly saying strong women lead, it's not just about Black women, but it is certainly important to highlight the importance of women that really go hard for their city, but oftentimes don't receive the large checks and support from others. So she told me, empower yourself by doing this and being able to support others. And so I'm looking to continue that. But she was one of my first honorees. Imagine how proud I felt to have her in that room, along with other matriarchs that are represented in this room today. She encouraged us, but she also came to events that we had. Yes, I got called to the Skyline Room as well, and the breakfast that she had downtown Detroit. She stayed involved in organizing well long after she left office. She helped get our governor elected. She told us what we were going to do to help and not really ask us, and that was okay because she had earned that right. She introduced me on the House floor. One of our members said that I was preaching a sermon at 3 a.m., but I actually preached a sermon at Oak Grove AME during Women's History Month, and I had the honor of her introducing me. She's someone that certainly we look up to, and now leaving this body to now follow in her footsteps and serve on the Detroit School Board, a place where she also served and was appointed in 2005, is amazing. A number of members in this room have the opportunity to talk about or kind of tout the legacy of coming or serving after a parent, after a father in many instances, cousin, etc. But I don't think there's any mother that has had two sons to follow in her footsteps. That speaks volumes. And she was certainly brilliant, but her sons are extremely brilliant as well. I believe KB is still working in the utilities industry and running his corporation and Tommy Stallworth serving in the governor's office giving guidance. I applaud the work and look up to the work that Mother Stallworth did on foster care, child abuse, and again, being one of the founding members of the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus. I'm so honored that my colleagues are joining me today, but we must continue to crack that glass ceiling because that's what she advocated for, making sure that our numbers increase as African American women serving in politics and in the House. So today we give our true condolences and we stand in unity today, celebrating a My Leg matriarch, someone who fought to ensure that Black women would have an opportunity to serve and little Black girls could see us and one day dream of serving too. Thank you all so much for honoring and remember her legacy and her memory. Her family certainly have my condolences, and my future colleague on the board, Misha Stallworth, where I'll be joining soon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Members of the Stallworth family were unable to join us today, but they will as well be sent a flag of the United States that was flown over this Capitol, as well as a copy of the video of this session. So I'm going to ask all the members at this time to please rise and join me in thanking the entire Stallworth family for the service of Alma Stallworth, of her many years of service to our state and sacrifice that her family has made.